Hello friends, hope you're doing great. If you're watching this video, then you must be interested in learning 3D animations or VFX. And you're on the right spot, because here I make a sequence of videos explaining 100% free open source 3D animation software called Blender. I've tried to make the videos as detailed as possible so that even a beginner can understand it better. If you've not watched my previous videos in this sequence, then you can find the link to those videos in the description below or from the cards above. So without waiting, let's get started. Here we are in Blender. In this video we will see how to edit a 3D object in different ways and add geometry to it. Or in other words, how to create objects of different shapes. Okay, let's try to edit this cube. From this menu, select Edit Mode option, or you can use the shortcut key Tab. Good. Before I proceed further, you have to know the three basic ways to edit any objects in Blender. First one is vertex mode, the second is edge mode, and the last is face mode. Let's look in detail. Go to vertex mode by selecting this button. Vertex is basically a single point on the object. You can select different vertices in objects just like this. After selecting, you can move using the manipulator button by simply left clicking and drag. You can select multiple vertices by shift and left clicking on it. Now let's see what is edge mode. Edges comprises of two vertices. Let's select this button to go to edge mode. This will help you select the object along its edges and then make changes to it just like this. To select multiple edges, you can shift and left click on the edges. Like two vertices combines to form an edge, when three vertices combines, it forms a face. The minimum number of vertices a face can have is 3, and it can be more as well. Like here in this cube, a face has 4 vertices. In order to do that, select the face selection mode. Now you can select multiple faces. One last thing is that you can combine these 3 modes by pressing Shift and selecting these buttons. Now you can select by vertex or edge or even face. Using these 3 key edit modes, we will step further to see how to use these modes and create different 3D shapes by adding geometry to it. First one is called extrude. This is used to create a new geometry from an existing one. For example, select this vertex and then press E key to extrude, and when you click and drag, you'll find a new vertex is created as an extension from the old vertex. Similarly, you can select an edge or a face and extrude by pressing the E key and then dragging the selection. This is how any object is created from scratch. Like this cube, there are also other options available in Blender to start any 3D object modeling. Let me add few. First, let's delete this cube by selecting it by pressing A key and then press X key to delete it. Done. Now go to Add and you will see different objects or meshes available. Let's try a plane, which is a 4-sided 2D mesh. There is also another way to add a mesh. You can press Shift plus A and select any mesh. Let's add a UV sphere. This way you can add different meshes as per your need when modeling a 3D object. Okay, let's work with this plane. So I'm going to delete this UV sphere. Select and X, done. I'm going to select the face of the plane and then press E and Z to drag along the Z axis. As I have mentioned earlier in my previous videos, it's always a good practice to extrude along an axis rather than doing it randomly like this. Following this practice will really come handy once you start to model any objects in Blender. In case I need to add more geometry to this object, say I need to create simple steps or a kind of stairs, you can do so by pressing Ctrl plus R. This will add a loop cut. Now when you hover around the object with the mouse, you can find a pink line and it basically tells you the possible options to add geometry to 3D object. Once you left click, the pink line will turn into orange, and now you can move your mouse to decide where exactly you need to add the geometry. Left click again to confirm. This is called a loop cut. Now you can see more geometry available to edit the object. Select this face and extrude it along the z-axis. Let's try to add one more step. I am using a middle mouse button to change the perception and then select these two faces by pressing Shift and left mouse button. Note that I have used my preference settings in Blender to have the left mouse button for selection. If not, you might have to use the right mouse button to select. Okay. Now extrude along the y-axis, pressing E and then Y, and drag your mouse left clicking on it. When I try to create our next step like this, it may look odd because the second step seems to be smaller than the first one. Okay, let's undo it. Now in edge selection mode, select this edge and go to the select menu and choose loop cut. Now you can find that the selection is made on all the edges, which forms a loop. And now you can just drag to change the loop cut position, and it looks good now. Now when you try to create the next step, the first two steps will look evenly spaced. This is a small technique to handle loop cuts, and we will see more as we progress in this tutorial. Now let's see another fast way to add more geometry. This is called subdividing. Let me delete this and show you how to create a Rubik cube quickly using this technique. Press A twice to select all, and then X to delete, and then select vertices. Now let's add a cube by pressing Shift A and then Mesh and Cube. With the whole cube selected, press W and select Subdivide. In the left pane, you can see the number of subdivisions you need. If this pane is not visible, then press T button to make this pane visible. Now let me select 2 to make a basic Rubik cube. By subdividing like this, it will give more options for you to add geometry to the objects like this. Actually, I forgot to say one more thing regarding loop cut. Okay, let me delete this and add a cube and drag this face up. Okay, now let me add a loop cut with Ctrl plus R and confirm the position by left clicking again. If I try to move the loop cut, you will see that the shape is getting deformed, which may sometimes be a problem. So in order to move along the shape, select the loop cut and press G twice, and now you can move without deforming the shape. Handy tip, right? So we are coming to the end of this video. You can try using these techniques and start creating your own 3D shapes, and I'll see you in the next Blender for Beginner tutorial series with more information. Hope you found the video useful. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel as we have more videos coming related to photography, videography, VFX and CGI animations. See you again with another good content. Until then, see you. Bye.